going to get started. Back away from the food slowly. Back away from the food slowly, please. I guarantee for the new people, the food is here the whole time. Okay, today is about you and me. I'm gonna jump right in. Many of you have heard the story, but what are we doing here today and how did this happen? About 5 years ago, I was exercising and ended up having open heart surgery. They ran out of veins and got a pig one from the Kmart and brought it out and put it in. That was the joke part. Okay. I read a book which was called Younger Next Year. And the guy in the book talked directly to 60-year-old men who had heart problems and said, your mind is never going to win an argument with your body. And I was standing outside a facility, Army Navy Country Club. Don't ask me why I was there. And I saw her picture up, and she was running a course at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I talked myself right out of going. And it was Labor Day, and I said, all right, I'm going to let my body win this one. And I took off a day and slept late and got there at 6 o'clock in the morning. I walked in, and she was standing, and she said, what are you doing here? And I said, I came to exercise. She said, okay, you're in. That started a journey of 2 years, this Labor Day, 3 times a week at 6 o'clock in the morning. Don't I look great? All right. Now, the promise today, some of you I've given this book to. There must be 4 or 5 people. Right, over here. Have you used it? Miss Ryan, I know. But today is the day you will change, guaranteed. Okay. But I haven't been on this journey alone. There's a class, and actually we've met this morning, so we're exhausted and ready. This group started at 6 and has already exercised for an hour. Don't get too close to us, okay? And I have met and we were coming over, and Deb, who was to my left, said that it's sort of like a core group of a family, and Lucy is one of the most, my wife, I got to put in that group, is one of the most remarkable people, as are my 2 peers over here to the left that I have met. We have exercised together for 2 years at 6 o'clock in the morning. Painful, torture, but my friends, it is worth it. It is worth it. And I hope today when you leave here, at least 1 or 2 of you, and that's all that matters, can commit, because I feel, and you can hear the adrenaline right now, and I have not had coffee yet. And I stand at 6 o'clock in the morning between these 2 ladies. Linda stands in front of me, and she is the rapid one, and Deb goes according to the rules, and they both watch me carefully, and they're both yelling at me to do it one way or the other, complaining the whole time, and she's yelling at me also. This person is truly remarkable in terms of a personal trainer. You're going to get an hour of the best. Pay attention. You can move your chairs. Those of you who want to take off your clothes and exercise. Did I say that? Oh, take off your clothes. Those of you who wore your gym stuff, join us. And let me end by telling you, as usual, and it's unbelievable how uncanny it is, because I choose the topics, a year ahead, and I joke with you about reading the New York Times and what's in there, but this is last week's post. Okay, you saw it all? Okay, now I've made copies, so you'll have to read it yourself, but it talks right to what Lucy talks about. One of the critical things she works with us is balance, which I hope you're going to talk about today. So we copied it, and I have copies for you. I'll hand them out, but I figured I'd do it at the end to hand out. But I do want to tell you a secret. There were 4 articles in here. One was on mind adjustment, helping seniors cope with pain. Another was on balancing act, working now to prevent falls later, which is what Lucy works with a lot. The 3rd article was 20 versus 40. Navratilova, the tennis player, talked about fitness. But the one Lucy wouldn't let me copy because she keeps me in line. If I go out of line, I get punished with push-ups. I was up to 175 for that. And you all know me, so you understand. But she wouldn't let me copy one that I really want to spend about the next hour talking about, aging and sex. Dr. Ruth at 85 still does it. So that's the article. I didn't copy that one, but if you want to talk about that separately, that was another bit of humor here this morning, folks. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Lucy. They're all yours. Good luck.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. All righty. Well, I just want to share a little bit with how we all met Robert. And he's one of those kind of people that, a thorn in your side. A family member that, that's special. But we still love him. We still love him. And I count it a privilege and an honor of all of the doors of opportunity that he has brought to me. On the first meeting we had, as far as with Robert being in our class, after a warm-up, which we meet on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and how we have it set up is that Monday is upper body day, chest, back, biceps, core, and back. And then we also have a platform, which is used right there. Robert said, turned to me and said, "I hate you." Now, can you imagine the first time that you meet your a student in class and they say they hate you? I'm like, what did I do to this guy? And then I'm looking at the rest of the class. They're like, who is this guy? He hates you. Oh, well. Okay, and I said, I love you too, Robert. Because I'm just that kind of a person. I am a retired military drill sergeant in the United States Army. And I reminded him of that as well. We meet 3 times a week, in which we know that 3 times a week is not quite what you need. The body was created for movement. So that means you can't say 3 times a week I'm going to move my body. No, we have to move every day. But what we're going to do today is we're going to share with you about the components of fitness, which is cardiovascular, muscle strength, muscle endurance, flexibility, and body composition. Now, I would ask for those that want to participate in the cardiovascular movement, which is only going to be about 3 minutes, okay? Make sure that your cups and purses are somewhat out of the way. You don't have to travel. You can do everything in place, okay? Once again, the march, the walk, moving of the hips, because we know that the joint stability is what helps us from falling, yeah? So you can get a lot of that action in there today, okay? All right, so we're going to get started with our cardio warm up here. Can I get the members here? And we're going to do what's called a Cupid shuffle, which is working that hard, yes? All right.
Robert, we need a little traveling music. How far are we going here?
You can stay in place. All right, let's go back. Marching out. On your feet for those that want to participate. Breathe in, march up. And again. And one more. And all right, march 5. Now you guys don't have to move. All right. Hey, hey. All right. right, to the left. Stay here, kick that right foot and left. March it. Hey, hey, to the right. Hey, hey. Stay here, kick it right. Left, right, march. Turn to the left. To the head, to the right. Yeah, to the left. Stay here, kick that right, left, right and left. Hey, 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 right.
Abigail, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's not restricted.
March. All right. All right. All right, so we got warmed up a little bit, yes? Cardiovascular, in which we have to do that all the time, yes? Okay.
Guys, life is choices. You had your
All
choices.
right.
Real stuff.
Okay, we know that cardiovascular movement is definitely good for the heart. We know that with cardiovascular, that does make the risk factors decrease for cardiac arrest, stress, of course, with weight gain, and then also we know that that is a good tool to use for lowering our blood pressure, yes? All kinds of benefits that you can get from your cardiovascular workout. Although we did 3 minutes, but once again, whatever level that you're at, I would just encourage you to do it more every day. And which once again, I know with our busy schedule, how can I get this in? But the concept now is like, how can I get the most benefit with the less time? We're finding that out in our training as far as trying to get a program to you that is going to involve the components of fitness, but less time. We have different avenues as far as in the fitness arena, known as Tabata training, in which it was one of the tools that was used by a speed skater. And we know that in 20 minutes, you can get a full body workout, and once again, it's less time. Yes, ma'am.
Can you spell that or?
T-A-B-A-T-A, Tabata. Okay? It is a 20-minute workout, and what you do, and when we're saying cardiovascular, like we were doing here, we were marching. You can get on the treadmill, you can walk. You can also move it to the next level, get on the treadmill. You can also do the elliptical. You can also do the spin bikes. How many here have done spin before? Oh, man. Ooh! I have to do 2 classes today. It's awesome, isn't it? It is one tool that can be used cardiovascular that will definitely help drop the pounds and, of course, improve your legs along with your core and, of course, your heart as well. It's awesome. But for those of you that have not done spin, I would recommend that you try it at least. Yeah, you have to probably ride about 5 times before your glutes get used to it. Yes. Because that's the first thing. Oh my God, my glutes hurt. I don't want to do that no more. Yeah. But what you have to do is you have to take it in stages, guys. And that's one thing that I really enjoy when folks come to our class. I will tell them, hey, look, there is no one too old to come to the class because there's always modifications, always. And that's a good thing with what we do. And we know that as we age, we sure can't do them things that we were doing at 16, 17, 20 years old, okay? But because we're doing it on a continual basis, we know that when we get 60, 70, 80, 90, that our quality of life will definitely be one that we don't need a whole lot of assistance. Yes? Okay. All right, so cardiovascular is one of the components of fitness. The second component of fitness is muscle endurance, along with muscle strength. Now, Mr. Robert, muscle endurance can be done by push-ups. You can do a full push-up, or you can do modified push-ups. So Robert, Deb, and Linda, we can show modifications as Robert will do a full push-up.
Right now?
Okay, push-ups involves your chest, back, tries, shoulders, yes? And get set. Deb and Linda's going to do modified where you're on your knees.
What are we doing?
Get set, go, push-ups. 30 seconds, 30 seconds. Yes? If you have a shoulder issue, you can do the push-up from the wall. 2 steps from the wall, making sure that your arms are right over your under your shoulders.
Don't forget
Bring your
about us.
chest out. 15 seconds. Of course, Linda and Deb will always say, well, how much time? How much time? We got 9 seconds. 9 seconds. Good. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Linda will say, I don't like your applause. Guys, this is all about relationships, yes? Because they think enough of their bodies and hanging with me that they will come and do their workout. And I appreciate that. Okay, with muscle endurance, we'll say, for instance, a sit-up. Now, we know that a lot of people cannot do a full sit-up because they have back issues. So what we'll do is show modifications. I'll have Deb to do a full sit-up. I'll have Linda to do a modified sit-up. And I will have Robert to do the Russian twist.
The Russian twist.
Here you go. 30 seconds.
This one, by the way, for those of you who are trying to take the beef off here, this one is remarkable. This is called the Russian twist.
Well, I brought 12, but Robert normally do 15. You know, he doesn't like that. Okay, for 30 seconds. This is muscle endurance.
I know I can do it for 30 seconds.
Okay, get set, go. Yes. Linda's doing crunches and which modifications of working your core, yes. But what she's doing is she's doing a modified crunch. Deb is doing a full. Yeah? And which, once again, you choose what level is comfortable for you, because everyone cannot do a full. Everyone cannot do a Russian twist like Mr. Robert. We have 4 seconds left. 4 seconds left. And stop. So, we have covered cardiovascular. We have covered muscle strength. And we've covered muscle endurance. The next component of fitness is flexibility. All right, can I have everyone to stand for me? Feet shoulder width apart. I want you to inhale for me. And I want you to roll down as far as you can. Toes is the goal, but if not, breathe. Where are you? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly roll it. Slowly roll it up. I don't want anybody coming up with breakfast or okay. Now, with flexibility, with what I just had you to do that assessment, it will test your lower back and your hamstrings muscles, okay? So, when you do that particular exercise or assessment, you will see either I can touch the floor or I may touch my knees, but my goal is maybe to touch my shins or my ankles. So what you'll have to do is you'll have to work on that flexibility of the hamstrings and the lower back. And how we do that, Robert, Deb, and Linda, can I get you guys to come to the mat? You guys can have a seat. Okay, Robert? Okay, come over here. Now, I'd like for you guys to roll down and touch the ankles. Okay, stand up for me, please. I'm sorry. I'd like for you to do the roll down. When Robert came to us, he could not touch past his knees. Look at him now. Okay, Linda and Deb are very flexible because, once again, women are a little bit more flexible than guys. Come on,
And they're just annoyed because they're so crazy.
And we're better than Robert.
All right, come up, Robert. Come up. Come on, Robert. Come up. Let's come up. Thank you. Now we will demonstrate how you would stretch your hamstrings and your lower back. So lie on your back, guys, for me. Once again, if you cannot go past your knees or touch your toes or the floor, this particular stretch and flexibility will help. Bring that right knee into your chest, and this is called the hamstring stretch. Because when you have tight low back and tight hamstrings, this is one of the stretches to help your flexibility. Okay?
Either above the knee or below the knee, either way.
If you have knee issues, I would not say here. So you go behind here. But if you don't have any knee issues, yes, on top.
I didn't know
Okay?
that.
Robert, you did know that. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Do tight hamstrings cause lower back pains?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so once again, you can, this is the first level. Stay where you are, guys. The second level is to extend the leg, make the lever longer, so legs are straight, interlock your hands behind the knee. So that's the next level. But once again, you do what's comfortable for you. If it's a challenge for you just to pull your knee in, you stay there. Okay? The next thing is that to make the lever longer, because now you're stretching the belly of the hamstrings along with your glutes, yeah? Then you can move up your leg to reach your ankle, yeah? And we know that ladies are, once again, a little bit more flexible. And the third way is to raise your head up and pull the knee in or leg in, yeah? Robert, you weren't supposed to do it like that. You're supposed to do it graceful like Dan and Linda. Yes, graceful. Okay, let's do the other side, please. Yes, breathy, breathy. Once again, flexibility in which you need to do this every day. When you're in bed, yeah? You don't have to be on the floor. You can once again pull that knee in first. Then you can move to straightening the leg. And then the next thing would be able to raise your head and reach for your toes or your ankle. But remember, you have to breathe, because if you stop breathing and you're trying to reach for that toe, you're going to get what we call a Charlie horse. Okay? You do not want to be holding your breath when you're doing your stretches. Okay, now lengthen that leg. Reach for that toe, Robert. 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Now the third round is to pull both knees in. Breathe out, breathe out. And once again, you make the modification. If it's your knee, you put your hands behind the knee. Or if not, you just go ahead and bring them like the front, like Linda has it right here. Okay? Now, straighten your legs for me, please. Hands behind the knees. Pulling it in and breathing. Yeah? So once again, this is the hamstring stretch. You did one leg, the other, and now you're doing both. Okay? Raising the head up, that stretches more of the lower back. So raise your head up, Robert. Okay. Woo-hoo. All right. Now, let's go ahead and rest down. Now, let's work on the back. Okay, we're going to do what's called bridging. Bridging is a good stretch, strengthening exercise for the lower back. Now, you bend your knees. If you have an issue with your knees, you won't bend them as much. But what I try to have the class to do, because I know their levels, I'll tell them to back your heels up till you can touch your heels with your fingertips. Okay? You're going to inhale, pelvic tilt, raise your hips all the way up. Look at Robert. Poor baby over here, just working up so hard. Okay, so if you notice with Linda and Dad, yeah?
Yeah, I hate you.
Okay, now I want you to bring it up a little bit more so all of the weight is on the shoulders. So you're firing your glute muscles, which are attached to your lower back, yeah? So that is a good stretch, strengthening exercises for the lower back. We did the hamstring, now we're doing the lower back. Now roll it down for me, please. Breathe, breathe.
Are there modifications, like right now I have a partially torn rotator cuff, are there modifications?
Okay, for your shoulders, you just have your hands down, go into a pelvic tilt, and maybe raise your hips up. And remember, you only want to go to the point where it's comfortable, it's not stressing your shoulders, okay? Because once again, all of us have our restrictions, but you do what modification you can once you know what you're supposed to be doing, okay? Yes, ma'am. And relax. Now, yes, ma'am. You tighten your abs and your butt as you come up, and you have to breathe, okay? Once again, you want to bring the hip height up a little higher to put more all of the weight on your shoulders. But if you have a shoulder issue, you would only bring it up to where the bottom of your thoracic which is right here. That's where you would only go up to that high, okay? All right, now, how do you get up properly from the floor? Does anybody know? Turn to the side, come to your hands and knees and get up, yeah? So, I don't have to talk about that part then, huh? Okay, guys, let's go. Get up for me, please. Now, you notice Deb over here, she did the swing up, yeah? If you can do that, that's fine. But Linda did the roll over, I think. I didn't get to see Robert. Okay, you got it. Okay, so they are really good. They got a good trainer. But once again, remember, guys, for you, you want to make sure that you roll over to the side and get up. If you can do what Deb and Robert did. But once again, I want to put that disclaimer in there that the proper way to come up from the floor, roll over, come to your hands and knees and get up. But because I know their history, they can get up from the back. You know, just roll on up, okay? All right, so we talked about the flexibility piece. Now, with balance, and which we'll spend a little bit more time on that because that's one of the components within the flexibility. We have a lot of tools here today. This is called a disc, in which it will require you to use your core and either be on unstable surface, in which you can put one foot, or you can put both. I would suggest that if you are somewhat challenged with balance, that you have either a wall or a chair. So, everyone stand up for me, please.
On this balance issue, which Lucy concentrates on, the article is fantastic. Take a shot at how many people die from falls a year. Pick a number.
100,000.
You're wrong. 20,400 last year died from falls. And we all know, and those who don't know, is that when you have someone who falls, what's the boilerplate shortage of life? It's about 3 months per fall. When they stop falling, your life is shortened about 3 months. That's in the literature we're handing out.
Okay, now the front row, there's no shame in our game. If you need to hold on to your partner, your chair, do so. Okay? Now, I'd like for everyone to stand with their feet shoulder width apart. If you are recovering from an ankle issue, what I'd like for you to do is not put weight on that foot. Okay? So, now, I want you to raise your right foot or the foot that's comfortable for you. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woohoo! You guys are good. I did see a little shifting over here. That's okay. When you find that you're going to lose the correct form as far as being standing upright, wobbling here, think of tightening your core, your inner thighs, and your butt, and that does give you that stability. Okay, are you ready to do the other side? Okay. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Good job.
Why is one side easier than the other?
We always have one side that is somewhat restricted or limited, because I don't like to use those negative terms, but what you want to do is once you identify which side of the body is the one that's challenged, that's the one you want to start out with your balance first. Okay? So, with those two balancing stance, do you know which side is weaker? Okay, so we're going to take that side. Now, the one that has the ankle issue, if that's your weaker side, once again, don't put weight on it. Okay, so now we have identified the weaker side, and then we're going to add a little bit more of a challenge to the balance. Okay, so foot up. Bring the opposite arm to your shoulders. Now can you bring it up over your head? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Raise that knee up, girl. 4, 3, 2. Relax. Okay, she's balancing in heels. Outstanding.
Zumba in heels.
Oh, get out! No! I did see that article where they were talking about, I think this was pole dancing, And he haven't done that yet. Girl, that's the money. Lord, no, I can't do that. All right, let's see Robert. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and do it on the other side. Okay, so once again, you're going to shift the weight to that other foot, and then take your hand, bring it to your shoulders, then lengthen the lever, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a seat, guys. All right, with the flexibility, now, guys, let me get that. Okay. Linda is really good at balancing on a foam roller. So we're going to talk about the tools that you can use moving to the next level. Okay? This is a foam roller in which it is cut in half. And she's going to do the same movement that we did with one foot on there, raising the opposite leg and hand. Okay. And Linda, if you want, you can come over here in the event that if you need a little help, you got the lecture.
All by myself?
Well, yeah, because I'm going to have Deb do something else on the. Okay, and then we'll have Robert. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, tighten it, 4, 3, 2, and relax. On the other side. Thank you. And ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we see which side is yes, okay? All right, now Deb, and which she is really good on the disc. The disc here is, once again, unstable surface, okay? She's going to stand with both feet. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, step off. Now we're going to do one leg deadlift. This is one of the exercises that we do, either with weights or without weights. It's also improving the balance. Because once again, this is advanced stuff. So if you're not ready to use either foam book or a foam roller, stick to the floor. And make sure that when you're on the floor, if you've got some restrictions or limitations with the balance, make sure you're close to a wall or you have a good sturdy chair, okay? Because I don't want to hear about you falling and breaking your hip. Then Robert will tell me, you didn't do the disclaimer. Okay, now let's do the one leg deadlift.
Whoa.
All right.
Doesn't mean you can't wobble.
Yeah, you're authorized to wobble. Now let's do the other leg.
She's the queen of form, by the way. Deb is. Watch.
Oh yeah, watch me.
That's what she's falling apart.
Okay, so once again, you can start at the lowest level, which is standing. Then you learn to shift your weight to one side. And remember, we always want to work on the limited side first. Strengthen the weaker link. And then you do the other side.
Are you bending at your hip there, or are you going down with your legs still down?
Okay, she's shifting her weight to that one leg that she's supporting on the disc. And she's flexing from her hip. Because it's like doing a deadlift, but instead of on the floor with the weight, she is on unstable surface to work the balance. So yes, you're flexing at your hip. Okay? Alrighty, so with the flexibility piece, we've all tried it, and I think that you've identified which side is the weaker. Yes? So try to do this at least every day. Every day you stand in front of the sink to brush your teeth. Yes? So that's a good element, especially in the morning, because we always brush our teeth in the morning, right? Okay, so you can look at that. Holding it for 10 seconds, moving it to 15, 20, 30 seconds. And when you want to do developmental stretching, flexibility, balance, you can hold it for a minute. Okay? So you start from where it's comfortable, then you look at improving it. Yes? Because once again, we always want to improve our balance. So when we get a little bit more mature, we're not having those issues with falling. Okay? All right, so the next component of fitness that we'll talk about is body composition. How many of us, so that's a sore subject, right? We can exercise, but when you talk about eating, hello, we don't want to talk about those kinds of things. But once again, guys, I'm just here to share information. I'm not here to say you got to do this. But what we want to do is we know that when we indulge in food too much and less exercise, we're setting ourselves up. Heart failure, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, kidneys, liver, all kinds of those things that we will be doing when we're eating too much and not working out. Once again, the body was created for movement, not just 3 times a week, 60 minutes or 20 minutes, but forever. Okay? Recommendation as far as those that do not work out on a consistent basis, anywhere from 3 to 4 times a week, I would recommend you take in 1,400 calories. Because if you take in less calories, then you look at not putting so much weight on the body to put stress on the joints, yeah? As well as the heart, making it work harder. Because with your aerobic activity, and the more that you do it, it's going to take less strain on the heart so it doesn't have to work as hard. Yeah? For the guys, I would recommend 1,800 because once again, guys, they are more susceptible to heart attacks. Yeah? So once again, we want to make sure that they're taking in just a little bit more because they have to work a little harder. Yeah? And when I say, not saying that women don't work hard, but when you talk about the calorie intake, they need more than we do. If you're going to work out, ladies, I would recommend 15 to 16. And then for the guys, once again, 16 and 18. Now, some will take in 2,000 calories, but that's if they're like working out at an athlete level, okay? Because once again, the less calories that you put in, the more exercise, you'll leave yourself less risk for all of the communicable diseases that we have, you know? We don't want to be one of those statistics. Body composition, once again, is body fat, in which we control that with eating, and making sure that we're doing more exercising, yes? And with that, as far as the nutrition piece, making sure that you all know that once again, when you work out, and it's plain and simple, the more that you work, the less calories you take in, but make it balanced to what your career style is. If you are someone that is constantly on your feet, lawyers or healthcare providers, you know, you may need to take in a little more, but then look at what your workout program is versus the calories that you take in. 250 calories of burning versus 250 that you're actually taking in. Okay, when I'm saying 250 calories, you want to burn that so that you can drop 2 pounds per week. That's a comfortable. 2 pounds per week is a comfortable weight loss. But when you're looking at 1,400 calories, you know that you need to take 250 from your calorie intake with your exercise. Yes? Am I confusing anything? Okay? Yeah? And as far as the fad diets and everything, I don't like to use that term because what I try to do is make sure that, okay, you have a good eating plan, which consists of all the fruits and vegetables, yeah? And of course, with the protein, you want to make sure that you're taking in the chicken, turkey, tuna, fish, and not so much fried chicken, yeah? Bake it versus frying it. And of course, having brown rice versus the white rice, yeah? And of course, if you drink wine, that's okay. But remember, never overindulge, okay? Because once again, you load in the calories and you don't work out, That makes your body have to work harder, your heart has to work harder, your kidneys have to work harder. Yeah? All right. Let's see here. My time is over unless you guys have some questions for me.
What time do you have, Lucy?
I have 9:21 by my clock.
You can show some more exercises.
Okay, all right, Robert, you come on over here.
Okay.
Linda doesn't like this one, but let's say we shift to a total body workout with Tabata training. We did that this morning. We picked 3 exercises, and they had to do a round of 15 reps. Then they moved to 10 reps, and then they moved to 5. But it's working the total body. Has anyone heard of the burpee? Oh yeah. Okay, we won't have you participate today. Linda doesn't like these. When we first started doing burpees, she was like, I'm not doing no burpees, Lucy. I'll do 1 or 2, but I'm not doing 15. I'm not doing 20. So I'd like for my team to come on over and demonstrate the burpee for those that do not know what a burpee is. Well, let me talk about this first. With a burpee, you're using your upper and lower body. You go into a squat first, yeah? You step back or you jump back. You do a push-up working your chest, shoulders, triceps, and core. You jump forward. You stand up. Yeah? So that is a burpee. Now, I heard some say, That's okay. Modification. Go to the floor. Step back. If you can't do a push-up, just slightly flex. Step forward, slowly come up. Yes? That's the modification. Yeah? Okay. All right. Robert, I need 2. Deb, I need 1. Linda, I need 1. And go. Forward.
Oh, I did it wrong, sorry.
Woo-hoo! All right. Now we're going to do a squat. How many can do a squat? Good. You get to test this too. Everybody stand up for me. See, our hip distance apart. And I want you to sit down, bring your arms forward, just touch the seat and stand up. Yeah? Now, when you touch the seat, think of that seat being a hot plate. That means you ain't going to sit down, you're just going to tap. Yeah? Give me 5, please. Breathe. 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 Woohoo! I feel. Now, this functional move you do how many times during the day? Yeah, 1,000,000, right? So if anyone say, I can't do no squat, what do? Yes, you can. You sit down, you stand up, you sit down, you stand up. Yep. Okay. All right. Now, we're going to do a little Tabata training here. You're going to do 5 air squats. You're going to do 5 lateral extensions. Yeah? And you're going to do 5 engines. Yes? Air squat, 5. Lateral adduction to the right, 5. Left, 5. So that's doing the balance, yeah?
The music, though, so it was a little more lively.
Okay, well, excuse me, Robert.
Get with the program, Lucy.
Okay. Get your feet hip distance apart, so that's easier. Okay. All right. Move to the right, move to the left. 5, 4, 3, 2. Air squat. 5, 4, 3, 2. And up to the right. 5. Go down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch. 5. your upper. Balance, yes. And then of course hips. Outstanding, guys. So you got enough arsenal that you can do your own program every day. With the Tabata, remember you're getting 3 exercises, and you always want to say, okay, for the ladies, our upper body strength is not as strong as the guys, right? So we want to do things like this, elbow flexion, shoulders, yes, triceps. With the guys, we know that they're used to doing that. But guys need to work more of the upper back, because this is what you see a lot of times, right? Because they work their chest so much that they don't work their back. So they have to open it up. Yeah, guys? Because, you know, y'all be building it up so when we see okay. And then for lower body, once again, air squats, deadlifts with one leg, deadlift with both, those kinds of things, in which, once again, just pick 3 exercises, and you want to try to do them, starting with 3 sets, 10 reps, then 5, then 1 or 2. Because once again, I don't want you to overwork yourself, but just look at that plan. And make sure that you include that flexibility every day. Every day. You can do the bridging in the bed before you get out of bed. You can do the hamstring, pulling the knees in while you're in bed. Yes, stretching that hamstring and lower back. Drink plenty of water, and you know that it's... So make sure that you hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Yes? And I do appreciate being able to come and talk to you guys. And I invite you... Can I invite you?
Not only that, but I will pay for the first week of anybody who comes to the course.
Monday, Wednesday,
Right.
Friday, 6 o'clock.
In the morning, Army, Navy, it's easy. Piece of cake.
But once again,
Country club.
once again, guys, if you feel like you're, oh my God, I don't think I can do it. We have a group in the morning. It's all about relationships, because this is hard work. But if you know that there's somebody there waiting for you, our camaraderie with Deb and Linda, we've been, Deb is the reason that I'm actually there. Because we were together I was teaching over at Henderson Hall. I met Linda from the National Guard, because I run the gym for them as well. I ran into her, but they brought me to Army Navy Country Club, and we've been rocking now for 4 years. Robert has been 2, and Miss Jean is 1. And once again, it's all about the commitment. When there's days that when they come in, they really don't want to listen to me, but by the time they've done, they feel so much better. Okay? Because once again, exercise is something that it's a twofold. You're going to get better at your quality of life, along with the camaraderie. We actually have, every quarter we have a dinner that we go to, because this is important. We are accountable to each other. And I always tell them, hey, you gonna be here Wednesday? And they're like, yeah, no. And then Jean will say, unless I come up with an excuse that I won't be here. But when you know that there's somebody there in the corner waiting for you, and then when we don't see them after 1 or 2 classes, we send in an email, hey, what's going on? What is going on? Because we want you here. And early morning, yeah, I know it's a little when you're used to getting up at 8 o'clock versus getting up at 5 and be there by 6. But I tell you, it will be worth it. At least one time. Come and see what we do. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Now I know why Linda's a better golfer than I am.
Oh, you golf with Linda? Yeah, she is. I didn't prep Linda or Deb, but I'm gonna take 2 more minutes. What would you say is the best thing about what we're doing? Or should I let you think about it and make Linda go first? I'm sorry?
Just how I feel.
How you feel?
I mean, I feel great. I feel better at my station in life than I probably did when I was 20 years old.
And you're only 22 now. Right, okay. What would you say?
I would say the strength and the competence, and I worry about balance, having watched my mother fall 2 times in the last week, so.
And this is a group that's infected with that, so just the balance. And we brought a lot of stuff. I may bring it back if there's demand. I want to add 2 sentences. If anyone you know, I realize I have a bully pulpit, and no one does what I tell them to do. Like, no one reads the New York Times. I've been telling you that for years. But if you're going to choose, if anyone is infected with this today, what I learned is I lucked out, because in terms of what you do and what I do and what she does, I've only seen her, but she's really the best of the best, as I can tell. In the class, there are 6 of us, and we're looking for a personal trainer. She has a voice for everyone, so that she can be across the room and be correcting me each time. And what I've also learned is that, like what we do in terms of filing a brief, it has to fit a certain way, or sending a letter, it has to say a certain thing, whatever you all do. There's a right way to do every exercise. And even after 2 years, and these 2 experts are my front and side, it's a form that she's constantly correcting, you know, in terms of your body, and she's really a pro at it. I've learned a tremendous amount just watching her. She has her own studio, and bless her heart, because you know my plea about working with the disabled, she works with the disabled. My daughter being one of them, who sees her once and twice a week, and Lucy takes no prisoners with my daughter. My daughter's got on the treadmill every day preparing for the course, and the improvement that Stacey has shown over about a year now, I guess, yeah, has been absolutely remarkable in terms of both her weight loss and her flexibility. Remarkable. So, hats off to Lucy. Thank you for coming. Okay. I will move right along. Today's sponsor is Right at Home. For those of you who are new in terms of the sponsorship, we eat well, yes? Yes. Yes, if you haven't stepped forward to sponsor a breakfast, we invite you. I'm going to take one more minute, if I could, in terms of the bully pulpit. You notice the change in the announcement. Okay, if you've got issues with getting it or the format, we've tried to change it. Steve Gurney, and I'm having name problem. Marlene has stepped forward to really take over infrastructure, and we're slowly going to move administration over to Steve and the guys retirement living. So you'll be getting the announcements. We're going through a transition, so it catches your eye when you open it. But let me know what you think. I don't know if you don't tell me. Okay, we tried to fix this one so it worked, but the announcements are going to be coming from Steve. Let me also suggest to you that for those of you who are on your heels, and I am not being solicited to do this, and not advertising for a nickel or a dime or whatever it costs in the guide's retirement living, it's a way to say thank you to Steve. What he does for this community is truly remarkable, and I've seen it from the inside. You all saw the big event. And Steve is now taking over this program. He's done a resource guide for us. The way to say thank you, and Steve or Marlene do not solicit, I can tell you that right now, but it's cheap. Just advertise in there. It's well worth your while. Anyone who advertises can tell you that. Okay, fair? Fair. Okay. Today, Mark Ash, 13 years in senior care, including numerous years in adult care. He's worked in a skilled nursing community, and he is now with Right at Home, which is in-care home and assistance. I suspect you've all heard of Right at Home. If you're not, you've been under a rock. Mark, thank you for doing this today.
I was going out for the United States over 40 soccer team. Did anybody know there was one? No, I just made that up. Again, I'm with Right at Home. We are a private duty in-home care company. We can work with clients, and I'm actually doing this today as an advertisement. You know, people always think of home care as you need somebody 24 hours, 7 days a week, and so on. It needs to be someone over 65, over 70. It could be someone that's 48 that's had an episode where they just need extra care, support after an episode. That's what we do. Don't think of it just as strictly senior care. We are here as a senior care group, but always try to think of your business outside that. So what we do, private duty in-home care, we cover, I represent some of the Maryland offices. We have a DC office, and if you want to write down, Right at Home, if you're in the DC area and you want Right at Home, rightathomedc.net, rightathomedc.net, and their phone number 202-269-0008. They couldn't send a representative here with me today, but quite simply, we do, as I mentioned, we have 3 types of care that we can provide. We can provide companion care. If you have a client that does not need hands-on full assistance, needs support in the home, meal preparation, running errands. Lucy has a great diet idea, and it's important for anyone to maintain a proper diet. But sometimes those seniors need help going to the grocery store and picking the right things, deciding which of the colorful things to get and which of the bland brown things they should avoid. You know, so your seniors might need assistance in that regard. Maybe your folks need errand running. They need assistance getting to the doctor and that sort of thing. That's what Right at Home can do on a companion level. We also have CNAs, or geriatric nursing assistants. If a client needs hands-on personal care, we can assist the client in that regard, whether they need help bathing, dressing, toileting, mobility, or if they need to be fed. We can help in that regard. Many of our offices also have CMTs, certified medicine technicians. So we can assist the client if they need assistance taking medication and so on and so forth. We can assist in that regard. We are a 24-hour operation. In fact, I got a client call on Saturday at 11 o'clock in the morning. They wanted care to begin at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We had a caregiver ready for 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So we have our offices generally always, we'll answer the phone if you call our office. We can assist at any time. In a community like this, we can assist by providing that extra support that the staff always, can't always provide. Often, recently we had a case where the family is missing 2-3 weeks of work sitting by mom's bedside because mom couldn't get out of bed. But she was trying to get out of bed. She was confused. She had leg injuries. She had a cervical collar. So we provided a sitter that can sit by the bed and maintain that person's safety. There's so many different ways that you can approach in-home care and support, and we always approach each case individually. We want to look at what a person's situation is, what their needs are, and what the family goals are. So again, it's Right at Home, private duty in-home care, episodic care. We have a hospital-to-home transition program. We can work within communities like this. We can work in the skilled nursing environment as an extra support, or we can support a person wherever they may live. And I want to say one more thing aside from that. We all come to these, Robert, thank you for creating this type of event, and Methodist Home, thank you for hosting. We all come to events like this, and we take the time to exchange a brochure or whatever, but I encourage you to take it a step further. To really benefit each other in this room, take the time to sit down with each other's business outside of here. Learn what each other does. And that way we can all truly be a resource to each other, and most importantly, we can be a resource to the communities that we serve. So again, Right at Home, thank you. And next time I see you, hopefully I won't have these crutches or this cast. Have a great summer, everybody. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you all. You're out by 10.